What are you writing?
Story of revenge.
Am I in it?
Cafeteria would be the place. 2 Colt 45s would be the tools. Captain of the hockey team would be the first target.
If you go near my girlfriend again, I'll kill you.
It would be methodical. It would be unemotional.
I was angry. I wrote things down. Stupid, but not dangerous.
Okay, we're sitting down with Jason Buxton, the director of Blackbird. The film had its world premiere at this year's Toronto International Film Festival and has made its stop at the Festival de Nouveau Cinema, and we're very grateful to sit down and talk with him about his new film. Jason, the first thing I wanted to ask about is what elements of the film are autobiographical?
Well, I think it's impossible not to write something that is in many ways autobiographical, and I wouldn't say just Sean, the main character. I think I bring elements of myself to all of my characters, but Sean in particular. I didn't dress goth. I didn't express myself that way. I was very sort of, I didn't stand out like Sean does in the film, but he's a reactive individual. He's also kind of withdrawn and a bit of a provocateur. So I would say that I have those elements, and there's a lot of me in Sean. Again, drawing on my own experience. Sorry, I'm thinking of the actor's name, Michael, but Ricky Randall, Sean's dad, certainly has a similar kind of energy to my dad. So when I was writing that character, I was drawing from the type of person he is, and certainly it informs. I was a sports guy. I mean, I fit in. It was, and I said this in another interview, I had a rather unremarkable teenagehood. But I think, even as an adult, I think being a creative person, growing up in a small town, perhaps, and I certainly, had my, came up against bullies. I was from England, and when I came to Canada, I was 9 years old, and I spoke with a thick British accent and really, really fast, and so I certainly stood out in, as a child coming to Canada, and you quickly adapt, and so, but I think those sort of influences are there, and also feeling, I think, misunderstood like Sean is something that resonates for me, not just in high school, but throughout my life.
Did it take a long time to find your Sean in a way? Because that's the lead of the film he's in. I think almost every scene in the film has him in it, so that must have been a very difficult search, I imagine.
It was, yeah. We went about casting sort of in 2 separate times. One was what I guess is called pre-casting, and it's when we were packaging the film and trying to get the financing in place. Part of that is attaching names at that point, and so we looked a year before production through a Toronto casting agent, and the Toronto casting agent were, they send the breakdown to the various agents, and what tends to happen is you get people much older than what you're looking for, especially at that age. The breakdown was for 16-year-olds, and we're looking at people that were averaging in their mid-20s. It's what I call the Beverly Hills 90210 casting. And so we didn't see that many. I think the youngest we saw at that point was 18, and so when we got the funding and we went back and did it again, I just had to be adamant about, I want 16-year-olds to try out for this movie, and that it was then that we saw Connor Jessup, and immediately, he was really the only choice. Yeah, there's actually a prison, a youth detention facility in Nova Scotia that's in the town of Waterville, and so prisons typically are nicknamed after the location that they exist, and so we were able to use Waterville because it isn't actually the name of the prison, but I loved, it sounded like a place that you go to vacation or something. I loved that sort of irony of that.
Did you talk to any inmates too, maybe as research?
I did, yeah. Yeah, I talked to many youth, most of them over 18, who had either spent time at a youth detention facility or adult prison. So I got to know a number of them, and a lot of the stuff in the film, comes out of that research.
How difficult is it to get a film made in Canada nowadays?
Well, it's becoming more difficult, I think. When we got the funding for Blackbird, which is almost 2 years ago now, there was a fairly healthy disbursement of telefilm funds to the regions, and that's sort of up in the air right now. I think a lot of us are concerned that money is being pulled from the regions, and that money is primarily, that money is designed for emerging filmmakers. So people that are making their first, second, third films, that money is designed for in the various regions in Canada. So I would say, and I suspect in comparison to a lot of different countries in the world, that Canada, up until the changes that may be happening now, is a great place to get financing and to really focus your energies on telling making personal films and telling stories like that. But I think it's getting harder.
Just to end off here, are you working on anything right now? Any new scripts?
Loosely starting a new project in early days, and trying to get the rights to a book, which I won't mention because we're in negotiations right now.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for sitting.
You're welcome. Yeah, my pleasure.
What do you say we put an end to all this?
Doesn't anybody care about the truth?